Hi, I'm Alicia Patterson, and I made it. This is my last and final assignment for my bachelor's degree, and I could not be more thrilled. I have been in school for 12 very long years. I started this journey, I wanted to be a nurse, and then I got a job in education and realized that's where I want to be. I've learned a lot about myself in this process. It hasn't always been easy, but I stuck to it and I did it, and here I am. I started this program back in April and have completed all 25 courses in that time. So to say I'm exhausted, yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm ready for this to be over, and I'm ready for Saturday so I can walk across that stage and be finished with this chapter of my life. I currently teach 8th grade at Maybank Junior High. I am a reading teacher. Although I've had several other positions in my career, I've worked as a collection agent. I've been in billing. I've been a paraprofessional. I've been an administrative assistant. My heart is in education. I left education for a year and quickly realized that this is where it's at. This is where I'm meant to be. I enjoy working with teenagers. I love to see them figure out who they are and what type of person they want to be. While this program is not an educational degree, it has helped me to realize the different types of leadership that people encompass and what it takes to be a good, solid leader. I once had the mindset that it's my way or the highway, but with organizational leadership program, I've softened quite a bit. And now I take the time to listen to my students and come up with a way to compromise and to take into consideration what they're saying and how they're feeling. I quickly learned that my previous mindset was ineffective and truly against my own personal style. I realized I need to take a more contingent or situational approach to not only changing and evolving scenarios, but also with a wide variety of personalities of my students, while getting away from the autocratic, authoritarian style that I attempted and quite honestly thought I needed. I now exhibit to be a lot more successful in my role and realize that people were responding in a positive way to my leadership as I've grown in my leadership journey. I now strive to impact those that I see leadership qualities in, as well as those that may not feel as comfortable being in the leadership role, even if I think they're suited for it. This is why I took a great interest in the course material that touched on the transformational and servant leadership theories. In this program, I've learned the content was valuable and useful, whether it was a refresher on content that I already knew or some brand new concepts and theories that I'd never even heard of. The learning materials provided real-world applications in reference to the use of the videos, like the TED Talks. I love some TED Talks. We watch them all the time in my classroom, and we usually have a journal entry on, what we just witnessed or what we saw. Love some TED Talks. The learning materials provided, like I said, real-world applications. Two of the courses that hit home to me were leading change and data-driven decision-making. In education, we are driven by data every single day. There is not a day that we are not driven by data. Thank you, STAR Test. We look to see how a student is doing. We see what we need to do to get them there, to see what progress they're making. Data-driven decision-making helped me determine what quality key performance indicators look like and how to use those, how to use the associated data to affect real changes, whether that be policy or procedure or what I'm doing in my classroom. I had to change up the way I interpreted the data for my students' test grades to see where I can help them. The world is ever changing, and education is ever changing every single day. You think you're on a smooth sailing path, and all of a sudden, boom, TEA hits you with something completely out of the water and something you are not quite prepared for. that's where leading change came in. That coursework hit home with me because, like I said, in education, things are changing daily. I think if I had taken this course before I started teaching, it probably would have better prepared me to process and adapt to the changes that I would encounter. I would have been better equipped to aid my students and my team as we all navigate through the uncertainty of what the future of our STAR test would look like. STAR has recently changed the format of our questions and answers, so it's been fun to try to implement changes in the classroom to better serve our students to be able to pass the STAR test. But thankfully, we're all weathering the storm together. There are things we need to work on, but we're getting through it. I've been able to be a valuable team member because of the leading change course that I took. I'm able to be more adaptive on leaning on the principles and tactics learned from the leading change course. I also found that organizational behavior coursework to be enlightening. Cultivating an organizational culture that aligns with the overall goals and visions is an important part of leadership. You hear about company culture and the effects of organization for the leaders that created the holistic and positive organizational culture before it was a buzzword. Leaders that find development and maintenance of organizational culture essential to the success of their respective place of employment are true pioneers and likely to be transformational leaders. I found both the process and the subsequent implementation of SWOT analysis, and let me tell you about the SWOT analysis. That was my least favorite assignment in this whole entire program. It made me think outside the box. You would ask yourself questions of how this person can be a better leader. Well, without knowing that person, it's hard to answer those questions, but I made it through it. And honestly, before this class, I'd never even heard of a SWOT analysis or even what it was. And really, truly, I don't know that I would ever really use one again. Not in the formal way, I wouldn't, but there are questions that I could ask my students to rate me on how I am as a teacher, and I guess that could be part of a SWOT analysis. In ethics, I learned that the Ford Motor Company is extremely unethical. Something so small could have made a world of difference and saved so many lives. I use this example in my everyday life. Something so small that I can do in my classroom may make the world of difference to one of my students. So I was able to relate in ethics with the Ford Motor Company and the Ford Pinto case study that we had to do. I was able to relate that to my classroom. In issues in organizational leadership, I learned how to help an organization work towards and achieve their goals. Well, I don't run an organization, and I probably never will. I do run a classroom, which is kind of like an organization. Our end goal is to pass the dreaded STAR test. But in the meantime, we work on our smaller goals. We are here to achieve goals, even if it's getting a kid to come to school every single day, 5 days in a row after, they've missed several days of school. It's getting a kid to make progress on their testing throughout the year. It's so many small goals rolled into one big goal. In my capstone class, my first capstone class was my absolute favorite. I loved my instructor. She is also an educator like myself. And one of our assignments was to submit a paper and a video on why we chose to teach and who we are. I wrote down in my video, I chose to teach because I love what I do. I love making a difference in children's lives. I don't do it for the money, because you and I both know there is no money in education. But it's so much more than that. To have a kid that is, struggles all year long or struggles their first 9 weeks, and they come to you and they're like, Miss Patterson, I still failed this test. And I'm like, okay, but look what you did the first 9 weeks. You made a 55. This 9 weeks, you made a 65. That's 10 points of growth. That's what we're doing it for. When things click with them, that's my why. And the capstone class, I'm sad that we had to save it for last, but I truly enjoyed that class because it made me, I was allowed to talk about myself. Not that I talk about myself, but I was able to talk about myself and why I do what I do and why I love what I do. Today as a leader, I'm a servant. I am here every day for my kids. I rarely ever miss work. I've missed one day this year, when in the past I would have already used my 7 days up. I love being with my kids. I feel I serve for the greater good. In my classroom, I build meaningful relationships with my students. They know they can count on me to be there for them no matter what, no matter the circumstance, no matter if they think I'm going to be mad at them, they know that they can come to me. I work in a Title I district, so we have a lot of aunts and uncles and grandparents and brothers and sisters that are raising these children. They don't always have someone at home that they can go to that is their safe haven. And sometimes my classroom is their only safe place. You would think home would be, but not with these kids. There's some kids that they enjoy coming to my class because they know I'm going to be there for them. From here, I plan on getting my master's degree in secondary education, as if I didn't have enough school already. I just feel like I can serve a greater need. While I'm getting my master's degree, I will also be getting my alternate teaching certification. Texas A&M Commerce offers a great program that allows me to do both at the same time, and it's only about 6 more classes, so why not? I mean, I'm going to be doing the coursework anyway, so why not further advance my education and my career by getting my master's degree at the same time that I'm getting my alternate teaching certificate. I've enjoyed the organizational leadership program. It's taught me a lot about myself. It's taught me a lot about who I want to be as a leader, who I am as a leader, changes that I can make as a leader. But I'm not sad it's over. I'm not sad it's over. And I think with that, I'm done.